The cat is out of the bag. UAW do or die.
The cat is out of the bag. UAW do or die. The automotive industry is undergoing a seismic shift, and the cat is indeed out of the bag. Electric vehicle, EV, adoption and manufacturing are now unstoppable forces, reshaping the landscape of the global automotive market. Solar Ed, ICE to EV channel will explore key aspects of this transformation, including the significance of the Chinese automotive market, the deregulation of the British automotive industry, and the evolving dynamics within the U.S. legacy auto industry. The EV world unstoppable transition. Electric vehicles are no longer a novelty. They are becoming the norm. The shift towards EVs has gained considerable momentum in recent years. With concerns about climate change and air quality, consumers and governments worldwide are increasingly supporting sustainable transportation options. This has translated into robust growth in EV sales, with automakers investing heavily in electrification. The Chinese automotive market a global game changer. When it comes to electric vehicles, the Chinese automotive market plays a pivotal role. With over 1 billion people, China has the largest automobile market globally, and its government has been proactive in promoting EV adoption. Subsidies, incentives, and a rapidly expanding charging infrastructure have spurred Chinese consumers to embrace electric vehicles. Chinese automakers such as BYD, NIO, and Xiaomi-backed XPeng are making waves in the EV sector, competing with established players like Tesla. Furthermore, the global ambitions of Chinese companies mean that their EV models are intended for domestic consumers and international markets. This has significant implications for the U.S. market. If it's good for 1 billion Chinese, it's good for the U.S. market. The success of electric vehicles in China can serve as a bellwether for the U.S. market. Due to its size and influence, what works in China often finds its way into the U.S. market. American consumers are becoming increasingly interested in EVs and are looking to Chinese companies as potential options alongside traditional American and European automakers. Moreover, the Chinese market scale allows manufacturers to achieve economies of scale in production, driving down the cost of EVs globally. This cost reduction will make EVs more accessible and attractive to U.S. consumers, further accelerating the adoption curve. The deregulation of the British automotive industry in the 1970s, the British automotive industry faced a significant crisis. Labor issues, strikes, and a lack of innovation led to a decline in the industry's competitiveness. The once thriving British auto sector struggled to keep up with global competition, ultimately leading to its decline. The question arises, could similar labor issues foster an industry collapse of the U.S. auto industry today? While there are parallels between the British experience and current challenges faced by the U.S. auto industry, there are also crucial differences. One major distinction is the U.S. industry's ability to adapt to change. American automakers have a history of reinventing themselves in response to market demands. The decline of Detroit in the late 20th century forced automakers to reevaluate their strategies and embrace new technologies. As a result, they have positioned themselves to remain competitive in the evolving automotive landscape. Recent developments in the U.S. auto industry include wage increases for workers, coupled with disruptive technological pressures. After significant negotiations with the United Auto Workers, UAW, union, the Big Three American automakers, General Motors, GM, Ford, and Stellantis, formerly Fiat Chrysler, agreed to wage increases and other benefits for their employees. While these agreements may provide short-term stability and improved working conditions for auto workers, they also come when the industry faces significant disruption. The push toward electrification and autonomous vehicle development are transforming the industry's landscape. The UAW is between the rock and the hard place because, on the one hand, I totally see where they're coming from. But their employers are failing and failing hard, and they're literally walking the plank. They're on borrowed time. The entire legacy auto industry is about to be annihilated by Tesla and the Chinese. It's already getting heavily disrupted. They have a problem meeting these demands because there's nowhere to take this from. And when I say nowhere, I mean nowhere. Look at the margins of Ford and GM. They have single-digit margins at 8%. There's nowhere to cut at 8% margins and legacy cost problems. If you want to raise wages by 30% for all your manufacturing employees, it's just not gonna happen. There's nowhere to take this from, and it's their fault because they've built an inefficient system. That isn't financially sustainable. The whole dealership model is another piece of the margins that they have to pay. So, is this the best time for the UAW to ask for more money? No, it's the worst time for Ford, GM, and to have this situation. But that's why UAW is doing this. They want leverage. They know that the big three automakers are in trouble, and they're pressuring the employers when it's the most effective. The problem is that these companies are in a tight spot. They can't really pay what the union is asking for. So, at the end of the day, what I think needs to happen here, because I know what the unions are saying here. Essentially what the unions are saying because they were asked these questions, and people have asked this. The leaders of the unions. Hey, don't you guys see that the big three aren't making any money? And they basically answer, well, they have plenty of money. That's just not true. They're not making enough money. There's insufficient margin to pay the union what they are asking for Ford GM. They'll pay them a 30 to 40% increase. The unions know that the government will have to come and bail them out. But lightning does not strike in the same place. 2008 is over for bailing automakers out again. When it happened in 2008, I believed that this was a lifetime opportunity. Electric vehicles, with their lower operating costs and environmental benefits, are becoming more appealing to consumers. Additionally, the development of autonomous vehicles could revolutionize the automotive sector, transforming it into a mobility-as-a-service industry. This shift may reduce the overall demand for individual vehicle ownership, impacting traditional automakers. As the automotive industry evolves, the future of the U.S. Big Three automakers becomes increasingly uncertain. While these companies have made significant strides in electric vehicle development, they face fierce competition from both traditional rivals and new entrants, including Tesla and Chinese manufacturers. The wage increases negotiated with the UAW, while important for labor relations, add to the cost pressures faced by these automakers. This could potentially erode their competitiveness in a market that demands innovation and cost efficiency. The EV world is in full swing, and electric vehicle adoption and manufacturing are unstoppable. The Chinese automotive market serves as a global catalyst, influencing the direction of the industry worldwide. Despite challenges, the U.S. auto industry has a history of adaptation, positioning itself to remain relevant in the evolving automotive landscape. The deregulation of the British automotive industry serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the importance of innovation and flexibility in a rapidly changing industry. The recent wage increases negotiated by the U.S. Big Three automakers underscore the delicate balance between labor relations and industry competitiveness. The solution to the situation. This reliance on government bailouts and economic inefficiencies and not letting companies fail cannot happen in America. So what? I suggest that all parties put on their negotiating caps and come up with a solution. I believe UAW and the Big Three automakers should sit together at the table and say, hey, how about this? Let's set a nominal raise, whatever you guys can afford right now, which is 10%, 15%, whatever that is. But let's create an incentive plan if we work better, work more efficiently, and improve the quality of assembly. If we improve the quality of the cars we put in now, if we put out cars much faster, if we help build forward into a better brand and embrace electric. If the unions help companies get a better margin, generate more revenues, and set certain milestones, measurable milestones, and profitability in revenues and margins. The companies reach a certain threshold for certain goals as a company. Then the union gets a 30% raise, but if we don't, it's just a 10 to 20% raise. If the UAW union hitched a ride to the future for legacy automakers and they say, hey, we're all in on this together, and we're going to be to our benefits to the performance of the Big Three automakers in the future, I think that's the best solution. In the end, the future of the U.S. auto industry hinges on its ability to embrace disruptive technologies, remain agile in the face of change, and continue delivering vehicles that meet the evolving needs of consumers in an electrified and autonomous future. The cat is out of the bag, and the road ahead promises to be both challenging and transformational for the automotive industry.